you ready? I said, are you ready for Let's Talk Whoa Hockey? And now, here are our hosts, Beth and Zach.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hockey Show and the 38th episode of Let's Talk Whoa Hockey. Before I even introduce us, we got to give huge taps to our friend Jules. That video is amazing.
That was absolutely phenomenal. I'm here for it.
Absolutely here for it. Of course, this is Let's Talk Whoa Hockey. We are brought to you by 5 in a Game Sports Network. I am Beth, joined as always by my dude Zach. How you doing on this wonderful Thursday, my friend?
Doing good. Can't complain. The NHL All-Star voting on Twitter is officially open, so sorry in advance to everyone who follows us or the podcast accounts. It's going to be stupid for the next 3 days of just massive voting pushes for a bunch of guys.
So much voting pushes, and we're actually going to get to that here in just a couple moments.
But other than that, I'm good though. Other than that, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually off until Tuesday, so when we record on Sunday, the studio is going to look different because my mission for this weekend is actually to rearrange.
Well, there you go.
And maybe make the jerseys a little more prominent. Maybe a few more. I mean, you kind of have to.
You have to. I mean, whenever my office gets set up, because luckily my parents are coming later this month, there's going to be some hockey stuff behind me, so that's gonna be nice. Yeah,
there's going to be a pretty massive undertaking taking place this weekend. Furniture moving, wall rearranging. It's going to be exciting. I'm here for it. I cannot wait to kind of get everything set up in a bit of a different format, not have to worry about the sun hitting the side of my face anymore when we record in the early evenings.
That'll be nice too when I'm in the office and I'm actually not standing right next to the big window that's right here in the dining room. So yeah, that's going to be, I feel that it's going to be nice when it's normal lighting and not how do you combat outside and a light above the table at the same time.
Yeah. So I get that. I know we're going to annoy you guys over the next 3 days, but if you aren't already, please make sure that you're following us on the socials on Twitter and Instagram at Talk Whoa Hockey Pod. And you should be watching this video on YouTube because we love it there. You get to see our fun faces react to the crazy, chaotic things that we say and do. And our YouTube is at Let's Talk Whoa Hockey. Make sure you're saucing a follow over for our network as well at 5 in a Game SN. That's the number 5 and a Game SN on Instagram and Twitter. And on the TikTok, it is just 5 Game SN, and the number, it's not the number, it's the word spelled out because we got to keep it a little chaotic. It's how we roll.
Yeah, but definitely big shots to Jules, our video person, of course, Kat, our TikTok person, for handling all that. Oh, and also Jules for the Instagram. She does the 5GSN Instagram account too.
She does. that all-star video was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much.
Just so great.
Yes.
Oh, also, I got something really cool last night. So me and Tara did our presents a little bit late just because of how chaotic it was getting back to the house and stuff. She got me this for Christmas, and I was super excited for it. It is a Frodo bear.
It's a Frodo bear from Build-A-Bear. I love it.
And it actually smells like coffee because they have those scents. So it actually smells like coffee. So it smells like a coffee. But yeah, so I got this for Christmas from Tara.
Love it.
We're big Lord of the Rings people, and it's.
I am not, but I'm happy for you, buddy.
You're like Lord of the Rings. Who watches
Lord of the Rings are a great movie series to nap through. Don't hate me.
All right, so I guess you're gonna find a new co-host for the podcast.
I'm sorry.
I'm out. I'm done. This is the final straw. I'm out.
All right. So, anyways, now that we're here, I'll just if you're not watching on YouTube, you definitely just missed me removing Zach from the video and gonna take over the world. But we do actually have some kind of exciting prospect news to talk about. I have to take a second to eat a little bit of crow based on last week's hockey episode in regards to some games and some outcomes. And I mean, we're going to take a look at the Hawks schedule this week, which hopefully I won't have to eat crow with my predictions for the schedule this week. We've got a new segment to talk about, and I'm super excited about it because it's going to be fun. And, I love getting on these things. And of course, we're going to talk about All-Star voting and who we're pushing to get to the All-Star game with the support of friends and Mario Terabasi from CHGO. I mean,
I know you love to see it. Just seeing Mario be like all this energy. I'm like,
yes,
he understood the assignment. He understood the assignment.
And I mean, in all fairness, it was initially his idea. So
it very much was. And we need to reach out to him to get him on the podcast because that would be huge. To get Mario.
That'll be our next goal. And of course, we're going to talk about our Blackhawk of the episode, which if you know us, you probably already know who it is. And that's fine. It's wonderful. But first, let's get into some prospect updates. This one is specifically going to be about Colton Dach. So Colton Dach did get injured at World Juniors. He hurt his shoulder. We did get good news on that front. Looks like it's not expected to require surgery, and they are expecting him to return to play this season. So that is amazing news. But then after his injury, Colton Dach was traded.
Okay.
So he was traded from I always mess this one up. Help me out, buddy.
What is it?
Kelowna, Kelowna. I always mess up that name.
Oh, Kelowna?
Yeah, that one. He started from that place to the Seattle Thunderbirds, which, interestingly enough, is where Blackhawk prospects Kevin Korchinski and Nolan Allen play.
Coincidence? I think not.
Seattle got a pretty significant haul, gave away a pretty significant haul to bring on Colton and the other player that they brought on with them. So, I mean, we know that he's pretty good at the hockey. I'm hoping that he doesn't have the same. Yeah, I'm going to say hope and pray that he does not have the same injury woes as his brother Kirby. I am still sad that we won't have the Dach brothers on the roster at the same time, but it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Are you sure? So what you're saying is there's no Mario and Luigi costumes.
No, but
for us at some point.
Don't worry, because we still have the Jones brothers. But anyway, I digress. The GM of Seattle did say that his collection of Chicago Blackhawks prospects is just a happy coincidence.
Right, sure. It's just a coincidence. He has 3 Hawks prospects and did a massive haul for one of them.
Just one of those Bob Ross happy accident kind of situations, apparently.
I mean, everyone needs a friend.
Everybody needs a friend. And I mean, Seattle got Colton Dach. Kelowna received Ty Hurley, Ethan Middlestedt, a 4th-round pick in 23, a 1st-round pick in 24, and a 2nd-round pick in 25, and the 23 and 25 picks are conditional. So, I mean, they got a haul for our boy Colton Dach. I think it's great that he's going to be playing with other Blackhawks prospects. I mean, that is just good for the future. If they can just play together now, build that chemistry, and bring that into the rebuild. And then he did also post a really beautiful thank you letter to the fans of Kelowna. He said, "Thank you for the last year and a half. I've made memories here that will last a lifetime. Kelowna will forever be a second home to me. I want to thank Bruce and the Hamilton family for giving me the opportunity to be a part of the Rockets and for helping me grow, not only as a player, but also as a person. It's been an honor to wear the logo and be the captain of a first-class organization in the Western Hockey League. To my coaches, thank you for helping me develop. To the support staff, much of your work goes unnoticed and doesn't get the recognition that it deserves, but I want to thank you for going above and beyond to make sure that everything is always set for us. To my teammates, it's been an honor to battle alongside of you, night in and night out. Thank you for making my time here so much fun. I will never forget the memories that we've made together, and I will forever be grateful for the friendships that I've made here. I'm so thankful for my amazing billets. You welcomed me into your homes with open arms and have taken such good care of me. You've truly made this a home away from home for me. And lastly, to the fans, you are what have made my time here so special for me. I will never forget all the support that you have shown our team through the ups and downs with what comes in a hockey with the ups and the downs that come in a hockey season, it has been a privilege to play in front of you every night. So, I mean, they got a haul for a guy who's injured.
Yeah.
Definitely, at the moment, the Rockets have won this trade as Colton Dach heals from that shoulder injury. But it's going to be great to see their production from several Blackhawks prospects being on the same team in the WHL and just building that chemistry early. I mean, why wouldn't you want that?
No, you really wouldn't. I'm still iffy on Nolan Allen just because of.
I get it.
I still don't understand that pick. Like, nothing against the kid, but that made no sense. Like how the way the Hawks went about getting that pick and then using that pick, it was kind of like, why? I still don't understand. Like I said,
trust.
I'm hoping it works out, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
I don't understand that selection.
I'm hoping that it works out. I mean,
like I said, nothing against him, but it's just like
nothing against the kid. I think there's always going to be a sour taste in our mouth because of how that trade went about, what we lost, what we gained. Gained being a very question mark statement.
I cannot wait until we get to the All-Star voting.
Yes, we're gonna get there. So
I can't wait to talk about certain someone about that.
But now is a time where I get to eat some crow, because last week I was not too hot on the Blackhawks schedule that was happening. I thought maybe the only game we could potentially win would have been the game versus the Coyotes, which we did in decisive fashion with a 2-0 shutout. Things we love to see. We love shutouts. Like,
yeah,
just things went well for the team. So that one's a wash. However, we beat the Flames in overtime. And if the Blackhawks hadn't Blackhawked, we would have beat the Flames in regulation because we blew a 3-1 lead, which I'm sure sounds pretty familiar to any Blackhawks fan. The Hawks blowing a lead, before. That's as certain as death and taxes.
I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, I've seen this movie before, but the Flames game had a good point in it because Lucas Reichel, in his term up with the Hawks right now due to some injury bugs, finally scored his first NHL goal. And it was beautiful.
Oh, it was nice. It was a very nice goal. The celly was good. Like you're happy for the kid. Like I've been excited for him for like a long time.
Like, I have too. It feels like the goal was just like a monkey on his back. Like he just had this burden. He'd been in the show for several games. It wasn't happening.
Yeah, that's just so tough because the way the Hawks have been like yo-yoing him so much between there and Rockford, and it's just kind of like different lines, nugging, like the minutes aren't there. It was I'm not blaming him for how long it took for it to happen. I think it's the fact of the Blackhawks never had. It seems like they can never figure out what they want to do with him. It's a lot of like guessing, and it's like, if we want to make this kid prosper, pick a plan and stick with it, please. Like, can we just stop with this? Like, we'll put him here, we'll send him down, bring him back. Keep him there for too long, bring him back up. And it's like, guys, pick one and stick with the path, please. Just do something.
Part of the problem is obviously in the NHL, you cannot take any sort of guess as to when injuries will happen.
No, I understand that. It's just like
he's up right now because of injuries. Kaner's injured. Mackenzie Entwistle's injured. I have to refer back to my list because I have a list.
It's a lot. I understand.
Jujar is injured, but I'm glad.
It's just like,
I'm glad that is done. Like it is finally over.
It's great.
The goal has been scored, and it was beautiful. Like
it was fantastic.
The play was beautiful. The setup. And then the actual execution of the goal, it was just like, this is what we have to look forward to in the future. This is what we have been waiting to see from him in the last season and some change when he's made his few trips up to the show. We have wanted to see this. We have waited to see this. And now it has happened.
I know, it's so great. It's so great to see.
It is. And honestly, it's like it's happened and it was a beautiful goal. And it happened in a game that the Blackhawks went on to win. Yes, they blew the lead. Yes, they had to go to overtime. Max Domi's overtime goal was another beautiful goal. Like,
of course, it's always, you're always here for it.
Always here for it. And then the other great thing about there was an article that came out in The Athletic a couple days ago, because there's been a lot of rumors that like Max Domi was brought into the Blackhawks to be trade deadline bait. Like, here we have this guy, give us your picks. He is another player who's like, I would love to stay here and help with this rebuild, which means I hate to steal the thing that like is nails on a chalkboard to us right now, but it feels like, oh God, it hurts to say this. The Blackhawks are doing this the right way. It's been beat into our heads so much for the last year that it like, those words are just like doing it the right way. But if players want to be here for the suck, to get us through the suck, then they must be doing something right.
I think it's a lot. I think it's a good combination of Kyle Davidson, what he's doing. Like, it seems like he's got an idea. We don't know what the trade deadline is going to be like, because this is going to be very interesting how this plays out with him. But I think with Richardson, it seems like he's doing a fantastic job. He's got the guys bought in. I think that a combination of those two, what they're doing, and the fact that it's Danny running the show for the Blackhawks is also a nice thing.
Danny works. We love you.
I think the combination of Danny, Kyle, and Luke. It's still early.
I saw the brain pause, and I knew where you were going, so I got you.
I haven't had coffee yet, so I've been up since like 7:30. Coffee has not been had yet, and I'm regretting not having any yet. So it's What?
You got to wear the hockey. You got to wear the hockey. Good God, you got to drink the coffee.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying, but yeah. So the combination of those three guys together, I think it's set in the. I hate to be cliche. It's set in the culture in the right way, because culture is always a cliche thing to talk about, but it's
at this point we might as well just talk about getting pucks in deep and putting shots on net and playing a full 60.
Yeah, like just gotta do our jobs, short shifts.
Shifts, do our jobs, communicate.
Yeah. So, but like I said, with those three together, I think it's finally setting the team up to where there is a clear path. There's a clear identity with this team. It's going to be a struggle, but at least the fact that Luke knows what he's doing. He's a coach's coach, but he does it in a way where he wants you to play. He wants you to do your job and fight for every game, but he also likes to have fun too, because we've seen it at practice. Like, he's involved with the team, and I think that's a nice thing. In the fact that Kaner wants to be there. At this point, I think Max Domi wants to find a home, because I think he's tired of getting traded so many times.
I think he's tired of being a journeyman NHLer. Like, he wants to settle. I mean, he has dogs and a spouse, and
it's just
as a military kid, like, I know how hard it is. Like, we didn't move a lot, but we moved enough, and I know how hard it is to settle, make friends, or even on the other side, like, you settle, you make a friend, that friend moves, and then you move, and then you just don't connect. Thank God for social media, because that's really the only way I've been able to stay connected with some people that I truly care about.
Yeah, like, I've moved 30 plus times in my life, not military, it's just corporate work. So it's one of those things where it's tough, and I don't blame Max for not wanting to move, because you would think for him, he gets drafted, he's highly touted, he's tried, but it's just teams, either don't take a shot on it or it just doesn't work out. And then you get him here, and it seems like, I think he's played really well with the Blackhawks. I think he's played better here than a lot of other places that he's been in. And I mean, like the fact that he gets, like, you see how excited he gets when like Patrick Kane like taps him on the pads and he's like, yes, like you just love to see it. It's just,
those are some of the greatest videos that the Hawks post, because Domi like idolized Patrick Kane in his like late teens. Because I mean, the age gap between them is not very large. It's not like a Trevor Zegras Patrick Kane age gap where you can see how much Patrick Kane influenced Trevor Zegras' playing style. But Max Domi, like, he really is a fan of Patrick Kane. And the first game that they played together, and Kaner came up and tapped him on the shin pads and like gave him a little nudge, and then skates away. And Domi's like a little kid on Christmas, just so excited.
How can you not love the Double O show? I mean, we're all here about the Double O show, but the fact that I think Kaner set the precedent of like him wanting to stay, Max wants to stay. And I'm hoping like a lot of the other guys who've been playing really well, like, Double A, hopefully he stays. It's just like there's a lot of guys that you kind of hope go through the rebuild. And I think that's, like I said, I think that just how Luke, Kyle, and Danny have been kind of setting up the culture of the Blackhawks. It's nice to see. It's nice, like I said, that's getting set up. The direction's getting set up. There is potentially a plan that's going to help, and guys are buying into it, which is nice.
Well, and honestly, like, we're going to need some of these guys to stay, not just because they want to, but because if things keep going the way they're going right now, we're going to be about $20 million under the salary cap floor. So we're going to need some of these guys to stay, and we're going to need to give them a decent contract so that the funny thing is there's nothing in the CBA that says like what happens if you don't meet the salary cap floor, which is scary.
I don't.
It's you have to do it by the time the season starts. That's all it says. It's not like if you haven't met the salary cap floor by the time the season starts, your team will be fined X amount of dollars, or you'll have to do X, Y, and Z. Like, that verbiage doesn't exist in the CBA. And I believe the calculations based on like potential signings, etc., put us at about $20 million underneath the salary cap floor. Of course, that's out without the without taking into consideration like possibly re-signing Patrick Kane and things of that nature. Like, that's just the situation where it is right now without those names that may not be here next year.
If the thing is what I think, because you sent that, I think it was like Scott Powers from Athletic. You sent me that article, because he had like at the very bottom, he had like how the roster set up without the re-signs and guys, like just without the guys who are with contracts expiring. I look at the roster and I'm like, the roster looks absolutely terrible. It is. Oh my god!
Literally a bunch of dudes. Like
you said, like Kaner's contract's gone, Tays' contract's gone. Like there's a few other big name, like a few other guys on the forward core that are gone. And you look at the defense and you see Seth Jones' contract and Connor Murphy's is there. And you look at the goaltending, you're like, it's literally, it's not even Seth Jones and a bunch of dudes. It's just a bunch of dudes because it's Seth Jones. I think they're going to re-sign Kaner, hopefully, knock on wood, but oh my gosh,
I think if anything,
bad next season. It's so bad.
I mean, I've said it since last offseason. Kaner will most likely move at the deadline.
I hope not. I really hope not.
But I think he comes back.
The thing is, though, will Kaner waive his clause, though? That's the thing. Like,
it's in his hands. And I think, again, the organization has been very vocal with, like, Taves, Kane, your numbers are going to be in the rafters. We want this to be done the way that you want it to be done. If you don't want to go, then like, I mean, honestly, a lot of teams don't have good picks left for next year's draft.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's really like all you're getting is probably very guys who are kind of like there that might be really good AHLers and the prospect pool. But it's like, do you take that shot and giving up Kaner and Tays for guys who might be ready
Yeah.
Because
Well,
because there's no draft capital left because all the picks are everywhere else and everyone's thin.
All the
Like, what
picks
do
are
you do?
everywhere else. The prospect pool is what it is. I mean, but
It's
the
not like
thing is, like
cap
the
space is
teams,
also a problem. There's no cap space. There's
the
no cap.
teams that have a pick or something that we want have no cap space. The teams that don't have the things that we want have the cap space. So it's like, if or when this happens, it will almost likely be multi-team trade scenarios.
Oh,
Like,
it would have to be. It would have
so
to
and
be.
so is trading their first round pick to here. They're giving it to here for this prospect, and then this prospect is going. It's going to be a nightmare trade tree. Like, it's going to be awful.
It's going to be bad. I mean, unless the Coyotes want to give us Shane Gostisbehere, Clayton Keller, a couple other dudes for Patrick Kane, then like, hey, Kane, you want to go to Arizona for a couple months?
I think the teams that are going to be on the Taves and Kane list are going to be contenders. Yeah. And the problem is the contenders right now don't have the cap space, don't have the picks, don't have the prospects, because they've already traded away the farm to get to where they are.
Oh no, I was mostly being flippant about it because obviously that's not going to actually happen, but it's just like it would just be some like weird scenario of like, okay, here you go, here's Patrick Kane to Arizona for all these guys, and Kinger comes back and like, yeah, how's Arizona? It is what it is, but
it was desert. It's fine. Like,
it's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't really see it. I would mostly see a possible Johnny Tays trade working out a lot easier than a Patrick Kane, because for me, Patrick Kane is still so good at what he does that
no one has the capital that requires. For
a Patrick Kane, no. For a Jonathan Tays, he is playing better this year, and I air quote better, because there's no one really else on the roster that's putting up numbers like those two guys are, and outside of Domi and Anthony Ciu. Yeah, but, so it's not like, I think the trade value for a Tays is a lot easier to get rid of than a trade value of a Patrick Kane.
And just based on like kind of things that I've seen, talking to people, to friends, I see Taves going to the Jets to go home.
Yeah.
Or to the Avs so that they can have two Taves and go win another cup.
But they're not related though. They're not related.
They're not related. It's not
related. It's coincidental.
It's coincidental. It's not like Colton Dach and our former player Kirby Dach, who are actually brothers. Devon Taves and Jonathan Taves are not related. So
honestly, that wouldn't be a bad move, but I'm curious to see who the Blackhawks will get back in terms of like, who would you get off the Avalanche?
The Avs have several really promising prospects.
Oh, they do. So I mean, it wouldn't be a bad move. It's just how much, and
at this point we are kind of in more of an acquiring known prospects stage of a rebuild and getting a few picks.
I also have a feeling though too that we're gonna have to take, like, if we're gonna retain half, I think we're also gonna be taking 1 year of a really bad contract back our way to offset.
Honestly, we need that bad contract. We are going to be the place where dead salary comes to live for a couple seasons.
I wonder if we could trade back for Seabrook's contract from Tampa Bay.
Can you give us back Brent Seabrook's contract, please and thank you?
Oh, can you also bring Brandon Hagel back too? And we'll give
that's not going to happen. There was an article today talking about the Hawks and basically embracing the rebuild. I think it was from Scott Powers at the Athletic, and where we would be if we didn't just dump it all. And after reading it, like, I get it. I mean, I got it before because I understand like the business side of hockey.
Oh, I get it too. It's just...
it hurts and it sucks, but it is what it is. We do have 3 games coming up this week. I am much less optimistic about 2 of these 3 games and maybe this will be my thing. Maybe I'll just crap on the games and then the Hawks will be like, we can't lose these ones. And then they'll win them. Like, maybe this will just be what happens. And I am okay to accept that burden.
Are we still kind of on our over under prediction of like less than 40 points for the Blackhawks?
I'm still slamming the under.
Because right now they're 10, 25, and 4. Are we still looking at possible 15 wins for the Hawks?
Like, I think 15 might be the most. I've looked at the full schedule through the end of the season, and there's a couple games in there that it's like we could maybe quite possibly like.
If
the stars align.
I could not imagine a Blackhawks team going from January 12th to the beginning of April. You're talking 3 months, and they're going to win 5 more games in 3 months.
We've gone from October to mid-November and have won 10 games. And the back half of the schedule is a lot more difficult than the front half because now people
also very true.
We're playing a lot of teams who are on the bubble to make the playoffs. We are playing a lot of teams who are making a push to win their divisions and win their conferences and win the President's Trophy. Like the back half of the schedule is.
Yeah, and plus teams are getting healthier too. So
yeah, teams are getting guys back. Like the team we're about to play tonight.
I was about to say that. Yeah, the team we're facing tonight, they're getting very close to having all their guys back, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, because we are playing the Avs tonight. And I know that they've been on a bit of a struggle bus recently, but also they didn't get like bit by the injury bug. They got like drop kicked down 47 flights of stairs by the injury bug. And guys are starting to come back. They've got Nate back. They've got, things happening again. And historically, the Avalanche spoil things for us.
All the time.
They spoiled the Patrick Kane point streak. They spoiled our non-regulation loss streak.
Oh, that one really hurt.
That one stung. But they have a history of doing this, and I mean they might be going through some suck right now, but they're still a really good team, and they put the beating fear of God into us at the season opener.
Yeah,
and just slaughtered the Blackhawks.
And that's without Landeskog, and he is very close to coming back too, and that's going to be a massive issue.
He's been out. I believe the count from our friends Chris and Kyle is 93 regular season days. They've been without Gabriel Landeskog.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, but also they're like he's nowhere near coming back. But you know how hockey injuries are like.
I mean, no one thought Pacioretty for the Hurricanes was going to be back as soon as he was. They were talking like March. He's back like early January, and that was from an Achilles injury too, might I add. So
Bowen Byram is skating.
He's been out for a good while. I mean, Nichushkin can't stay healthy, but when he's playing, problem.
Well, and the problem with Nichushkin's injury is I think he might have played a little bit too much hockey on that injured foot in the final.
Yeah.
And
it's coming back to bite him.
It's coming back to bite him in the butt. And that's fine. He's a hockey player and he's tough and we get it. But foot injuries are no fun. Zach and I can both attest to that. They are no fun. So
hey, he got a cup though. So I mean,
he did
sacrificing the body for the.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and throw out. We're going to lose this game.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we're going to lose it in as spectacular fashion as we lost the season opening game, but I don't think we're winning this game.
I hate to be negative, but it's like
it's a season of suck. I mean, it is what it is.
Thank goodness for the WoHo. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, I mean, the Avs are below the wild card line right now. I just pulled up the standings right now to double check. But 2 points from tonight would jump them above St. Louis because they'll have 2 games in hand at minimum.
Yeah.
And they'll be tied at 45 points. That puts them 2 points behind Calgary and Edmonton.
Oh,
so
I think Calgary, honestly, I think both of those teams might miss because they're both playing very bad hockey right now. Like, it is abysmally bad.
It is not great. I mean, Calgary just lost to the Blackhawks, granted in overtime, but Dan Vladar made 13 saves on 17 shots. That's not great.
That save percentage is absolute trash.
That is
awful. Could you imagine a playoff with no teams from Alberta? Gosh, I know where they're at. It's just I'm having a rough day as those two teams right now.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it is a possibility. The only team below them that I'm hoping hops up in would be like Colorado and Vancouver to knock them both out of the wild card spot. Vancouver is 10 points behind Calgary and Edmonton, though.
Honestly,
and they have 2 games in hand on the Flames and 3 in hand on the Oilers. So
I don't mind if Calgary makes it because I don't mind Calgary.
I'd be okay if Nazem Kadri made it into the playoffs. Like,
if the Oilers don't make it, I'd be very happy about that because screw them. Yeah, screw them. So and
y'all will understand even more why when we get to our new segment here in just a moment. So let's go ahead and hit these last 2 games that I'm kind of optimistic about. One, I am not optimistic about the other.
Right.
So we also have the Kraken coming into town. They will be visiting the United Center on Saturday the 14th. The last time I went to a Kraken game at the United Center, they got shut out 2-0 on Marian Hossa one-day signing night. The Kraken have done nothing but get better since then. They are currently sitting at 3rd place in the Pacific. Their standings are almost the direct opposite of ours. They are 24-12-4.
Yeah.
So
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not super optimistic about this one either. I don't think the Hawks pull this one out at all. And then we've got the Sabres coming into town. They are visiting the UC on Tuesday. This is the one game that I'm like, okay, this one has a possibility, but it's all about stopping Tage Thompson, which selfishly I don't want to happen because Tage Thompson is on my fantasy hockey team. So
you had to bring that up.
I did.
I hate it here.
But like normal, the Sabres aren't great, but they're playing better hockey than we are, and they are 20-17-2 with 42 points.
Yeah, but I think Buffalo's gonna win. Like, it's just
this is the one game because the Sabres are so hot and cold. Like,
they very much are.
There is no consistency with whether they're winning or losing. I mean, their record shows that. But if we get the Sabres on a cold day,
it's possible.
Then I could see the Hawks winning. If the Hawks can properly defend Tage Thompson, then we could potentially win that game.
Is it at the UC or is it? Did you say it was
at
the UC? Okay, because if we were playing them in Buffalo and if they rock the Buffa Goat jerseys, that's a loss because they are undefeated in those jerseys. They are absolutely
those jerseys are beautiful.
They're absolutely destroying people in those goat head jerseys. Like, it is.
They
insane.
Are no Buffa Slug. But
no one likes the Buffa Slug. Stop it. No one likes that jersey. It is terrible.
I do. Also, today is the last day on the reverse retro Chicago Blackhawks jersey schedule. I mean, they could potentially decide to wear it another day. Good things have happened in that jersey. Kane and Taves played their 1,000th game together. Lucas Reichel scored his 4th goal.
One, thankfully.
So I mean, I don't know. They could add more dates, but as it's currently scheduled, tonight is the last night that the Blackhawks will be wearing their Chicago reverse retro jerseys. I love them. I want to see them more. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in summation, I'm feeling at least 2 L's this week with 1 possible dub. And that's even stretching it because Seth Jones has to defend Tage Thompson.
Well, that's 3 L's, and the 4th L is you like in the Buffalo Slug. So I mean,
hey, Slug. So
I can do what I want. Honestly though, the Sabres have to go back to that Buffalo head. Just go back to that. There was no reason to leave it. It was a great jersey. It was a great man logo. Just go back. Hey, the Coyotes went back to the Kachinas. The Ducks need to go back to the Mighty Duck logo, even though it's different colors. And the Sabres need to go back to the Buffalo goat head. We're all good. And then the universe is where it should be.
We'll be all right in the world when the Buffalo Sabres bring back the Buffalo Slug. Anyway,
no, actually, it'd be better if Seth Jones wasn't a Blackhawk.
We do have a new segment. This actually came to be. This is going to be a part of all of our 5 GSN shows. I'm really excited about this because this is something that I just enjoy doing. I love getting on a soapbox. I love calling people out for their nonsense. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would like to welcome you to a new segment called What the Puck. So
thank you, Kat Hunter, for that fantastic name.
You are cussing beauty, and we love you.
what a cussing beauty.
So yesterday I stumbled upon this beautiful, beautiful tweet. Allow me to get through it, and then we will discuss.
It was rage-inducing, that's for sure.
Stuart Skinner will fly home to Edmonton tomorrow for the birth of Skinner's first child. Jack Campbell will start in Anaheim and San Jose with Calvin Pickard backing up. Vincent Descharnay, waiver eligible after this season, will play in Anaheim. Edmonton wants to look at the 6'6" D-man. To which this Mr. Peter Burns at 01LERS forever responded, I know the birth of his child is important, but our team is in a tough spot and every win is critical. I would think that his focus should be 100% on the Oilers and he shouldn't miss any games, so he's supporting his team. The price you pay for playing in the big leagues.
That's a take.
There's a couple things with this that initially set off like my rage on the inside. This is the birth of Stuart Skinner's first child. This is his first baby. Like, no. Every father, if they can be there, should be present for the birth of all of their children, but absolutely 100% positively the birth of their first child. Phil Kessel, to extend his Ironman streak, dressed, played one shift in a game for the Coyotes, then got on a plane and flew back to his wife who was in labor. Yes, it was the Coyotes and, you know, they're the Coyotes, but like these players are human beings.
Yeah.
Like this man deserves to be able to go home and help his wife through the birth of their first child. Because it's not even him being there for the birth. Like birth is literally trauma. You are ejecting a human from a female body, and it is not like it is in the movies. Like in any way, shape, or form. It is, if she delivers naturally, it is a lot of healing that has to take place. If she ends up having to have a C-section, that is literally major surgery that requires 6 weeks of recovery. Like, regardless of how you deliver a child, it is trauma to your body. Yeah. And if you have a partner that can be there, they should be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, it's not the first time that athletes had to leave to go spend time with their family and when something like this happens. I mean, if anyone watched, I know it's not hockey related, but with RG3 in the middle of covering a live football game for the college football playoffs during, I think it was like Michigan TCU, he literally was on TV, had a phone call, heard that his wife was in labor. He literally sprinted off the field mid-game.
Yeah.
To go be there. So, I mean, it's
literally
not.
Had the phone, went, guys, I have to go. My wife is in labor. And the guys were like, they were all like, go, oh my God, what? Hugs, go. And then the cameraman tried to follow him and he was like gone.
I mean, RG3 is a really fast, he's a fast individual. So, I mean,
he is, but
there's
they
no
were
way.
like, follow him with the camera. And he was like, I'm trying.
They went to behind the end zone and he was gone. And he's like, he just poofed out of thin air. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's a common thing where you see players, no matter what sport it is, having to take time away. Like, that's why they have those in their CBAs, that you're allowed to have a certain number of days to go home, be with, your partner during this said time. It's 2 or 3 days. It's not very long, but at least it's part of the contingency of the CBAs for all leagues to go and do this, because they understand, family is important, and that's what. So this take, of course, it had to be someone's burner with the Oilers logo and some random name.
Yeah, and
you don't even have like the balls to like.
No. I mean, why would you have the balls to put your name on a take like this? Like, could you imagine?
No.
Could you imagine the hellfire that would rain down on this man if this was not a burner account?
Oh yeah, I bet you. I'm already assuming that he got dragged in the quote tweets and in the comments for this. Like,
I decided not to investigate because I wanted to drag him myself. Because
I know, but it's like, I can only imagine how bad that like we don't, like, people like we don't claim him. You have time to delete this. Like,
I am sure the ratio on this tweet is epic.
Of epic proportions.
My thing is, and not just in sports, but like even in normal human non-athlete job lives, like parental leave is a thing. Like, it's no longer maternity leave. Like, it's no longer the mom who takes time off of work. Like, it's not even parental leave when it's just like the birth of a child. Like, my company gives you paid time off regardless of what side of the parent you're on. If you are fostering a child, if you are adopting a child, like, it's not just giving birth to a child. Like, when you become a parent, that is a significant milestone in your life. And it is a huge adjustment to like your normal everyday life. Like, you're bringing this tiny human in most cases that literally depends on you to exist into your home. And they get up and cry like every 2 hours, and babies like eat, sleep, and poop. That's literally what they do. So, like, yet another trash take and trash thing from the Oilers organization. Like, we might as well change their logo to a dumpster.
Well, I mean, it's not the Oilers. It's just a fan, but
it's just a fan. But again, we've all seen their takes online about many things. They're generally not good. And the Oilers organization really doesn't do great things.
Yeah, that's why a lot of us wouldn't be upset if they didn't make the playoffs.
It's true.
Especially after re-signing someone who is problematic.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. And so it's garbage. Like, it's absolute garbage. But we're going to move. I put the upsetting thing in the middle because I want to end on some happy stuff. So today, the 12th of January, begins the NHL All-Star Game Twitter voting shenanigans. And if you follow us on Twitter and you follow our network and you follow me and Zach, you will notice that it was like, wake up, tweet some All-Star votes, go about your day. I know we talked about this last week on the hockey episode where we were like, we don't know who should go to the All-Star game for the Blackhawks. And then the sage and wise Mario Terabasi tweeted about all of the things that Jake McCabe has gone through in the last several years. He has had knee surgery. Mm-hmm. He has had spinal surgery. And honestly, he's been killing it.
Yeah.
And he was like, let's go give this guy who has put his heart and soul into this Blackhawks team and parts of his body as well. Let's get him to the All-Star game. So we're going to be tweeting a lot of hashtag NHL All-Star vote Jake McCabe.
Yeah.
Because we need to get this guy. We need to get him to the All-Star game.
Oh, for sure.
He very much embodies like that All-Star mentality.
Oh yeah.
So we would like to welcome all of you to the Jake McCabe train. Like,
you mean the McCake train?
The McCake train. And you can tweet 9 votes in one tweet.
Yeah.
So you can hashtag NHL All-Star vote Jake McCabe 9 times, and that will get you a vote. Tweets count, retweets count, quote tweets count, and replies count as a vote. But it does have to specifically be in the order of the hashtag first.
Yes.
And then the player name.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the backwards way, at least your first vote won't count because the name is in front. If you put it in there more than one time, I think some of the subsequent votes might count. I don't know how the algorithm works, but it has to be the hashtag first and then the player name.
Yes. Yeah. That's how it's done. And it's going to be very, oh gosh. And then the thing is, like, they didn't limit how many tweets per day, like how on their website, it's
you
like
can only do 10
per day. Like the NHL in term, because the NFL does this a lot for their Pro Bowl, which is an absolute joke, by the way. The Pro Bowl. But the fact that the NHL has never really done a hashtag movement of votes before, I don't think they realize that, like, you really opened up a massive floodgate of just Twitter being an absolute just machine of just votes, of just vote tweets.
Yeah.
Like, because no one knows what the limit is. Is there like 10 tweets per day? Is it 100? Like, I saw some people saying, like, I'll do this 5,000 times. I don't care. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, there's going to be so many mute accounts on people's Twitters for the next, like, 3 days.
I know the two of us, the podcast, the network accounts, we are going to be respectful of people's Twitter timelines, and we are going to try not to inundate the world with like every hour tweeting out our all-star votes for Jake McCabe. I plan on doing like a morning, a noon, and a night situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too. It's like I might do like retweets just because, or like maybe a comment or two, but like I'm not going to be sitting here every hour doing like like that same tweet multiple times. That's a little much. Like I said, retweets, I'll do some. I'll not retweet everyone. I'll retweet some. I'll reply to some.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not going to be stupid about it. Like,
no. Because like we love you guys and we just don't want to blow up your feeds with only all-star votes. Like, there are obviously other things going on in the world of hockey. There's games, there's all of these things happening, but it really does boil down to like, we need to get this dude to the all-star game. Like, he deserves it way more than the guy going to represent us in the all-star game. And I think this would just be an amazing experience for a guy who really has like put himself, both body, heart, and soul, into this organization and really done well. I mean,
oh yeah,
he doesn't really get a say in who he's paired with on the D line. He doesn't get a say in a lot of things, but when he is on the ice, he does do his best to make positive impacts and all of that. And I mean, he has done what needed to be done in a couple of seasons where things haven't been great. So, team, Let's Talk Well Hockey, we are full supporting Jake McCabe. I know you will see some things from my side and Zach's side. I did agree with his Hurricane fans that I would give support to Martin Necas if they in exchange gave support to Jake McCabe.
Which will be my tonight tweet. So I'm going to do Martin Necas morning and noon, and then McCabe's going to be at night, just to make it fair and simple. But yeah,
you will see some things from me for Martin Necas. You'll see some things from Zach for Martin Necas, but we did kind of, we did like a bit of a quid pro quo situation with our Caniac friends and said, you know, I will support your dude if you support my dude.
Which I think everyone, because I mean, it's already like, I know a lot of people, like Bailey's already done it. I know Kat's done it. Josh has done it. So, well, I think Josh is going to do his tonight, like with mine.
Yeah, he said he's going to do McCabe in the evening, but Bailey and Kat have already tweeted out their Jake McCabe votes, and like, I love y'all. Mad appreciation for the two of y'all, because that made my heart happy to see this morning. And I made sure to spread that love. I was like, you guys are the best. I love you. And also hashtag NHL All-Star Martin Nichis. So I tried, I did my thing. I'm trying.
Also the network. The network is also doing Mikko Rantanen for the Avalanche, which for me, which is funny. It's funny how you mentioned Mikko and like our thing about it. Mm-hmm. I was already voting for him on the NHL's vote thing already, but even before that, I'm like, we gotta get Moose there. I mean,
dude is having a season, and it's funny because I always mix up how to spell his last name. And so I was like, well, let me go. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not even going to go to like the fantasy app to pull him up on a roster. I opened up the NHL app and I have it set to like the Blackhawks homepage, and they've got like the preview for tonight's game. He's on the front page for the scouting report. Like, he is the first person that pops up. And I was like, okay, this is exactly what I expected to happen. And this is why this dude should be in the All-Star game. He's currently leading the Avs in goals. He's got 50 points in 39 games.
Oh, so basically he pulled a Gretzky then.
Yeah. I mean, the only person who has more assists than him, it looks like it's Nathan McKinnon.
I am so shocked. Shocked.
27 goals, 23 assists in 39 games.
I mean, he honestly should be there. So, I mean, it's mind-blowing for the fact that, I mean, as a fellow guy whose nickname is Moose as well, we got to get him there. We got to get Moose there. We got to get McCake there. And we got to get
the Moose loose. We got to loose the Moose.
That's another nickname I had. The Moose is loose. So stop with the nicknames. All right.
That is Mikko Rantanen though. Like,
I know that. No, I'm just saying it's great. It's just great. I'm loving all the nicknames. But yeah, like I said, Marty, we got to get a Marty party down there in South Beach. We got to get, well, not really South Beach. We got to get him in South Florida.
We need a McCake for the Marty party.
And you got to bring a Moose, because who doesn't love pets at a party? So I mean, you kind of have to at this point. So that's kind of our main push. But yeah, I've had McCabe. I've also been, I was voting for Stalock, so I'm gonna have to change one of my central picks to McCabe then, because I think I was doing Mikko.
See, here's the thing: for your central picks when you're voting on the website, you can do 2 players and a goalie, so you can still do Stalock and just add McCabe.
Yeah, because I know I was doing Mikko, and I forget who I was doing for the other one. I think I was just picking some random dude for the central.
Mine were Mikko, McCabe, and Stalock. Those are my central picks.
I've been doing Stalock the whole time. So and then the Pacific, I was doing Horvat, Seagrass, and John Gibson. In the Atlantic, I think I was just doing like Nylander, Pasta, and Ville Husso.
I can't remember who. I know for the Metro, I made sure to include Martin Nichis. Mm-hmm. For the Atlantic, I couldn't tell you who I voted in. The Central was Mikko, McCabe, and Stalock. And the Pacific, I can't remember who I did for goalie, but I did Zegras and Horvat.
I mean, Horvat and Zegras.
Those are the only ones that I remember. I don't remember any other ones.
Those two doing really well. Of course, I mean, the Metro, I mean, Nichis, Slavin, and Kochetkov. Are you really surprised?
Those are not the 3 votes that I made for the Metro. I can't remember the other 2, but I know.
I know that. Well, I mean, I'm only going to vote Canes for the Metros. I mean, it just kind of makes sense. I mean, yeah. But yes, we gotta get McCake there. It's got to happen.
It does.
Is it time to talk about the guy who we? Is it that time, Beth?
I mean, it is time to start closing the episode, which means it is also time to talk about our Blackhawk of the episode.
Okay.
And it's episode 38. And how could we not talk about the amazing and wonderful and recently traded Brandon Hagel?
It's still too soon.
It is still too soon, but I will always honor and cherish our everything bagels.
Oh, no. I'm saying he's a great pick for the episode. It's still too soon that the fact that the trade even happened, and I'm not.
It still hurts, but again, I sent you that Scott Powers article, right?
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
And I did retweet it from the Well Hockey Twitter as well. If you don't have an athletic subscription, I do have 5 free 30-day trials. So hit me up, shoot me a DM with your email address, and I will gift you one of my free 30-day trials so that you can kind of catch up on some of the stuff that we've been talking about. The Athletic is amazing. I 100% recommend a subscription to it. It is worth every single penny.
It's like what, $7.99 a month? I think something like that.
I have no idea. I do the annual.
Oh, I do too, but you do the annual. Okay, I do the monthly one. So I think because I did it at the time where I got a whole year for like $1 a month, but I think it's like $7.99 for the basic one. But I mean, it's so good.
It's so worth it. But just if you don't have an athletic subscription, Zach, do you have any free gift subscriptions left over? Because I know it resets every now and then.
Give me a second. I can actually look.
Yeah. So, but if you do not have an athletic account, please hit us up. I have 5 guest passes available for 30 days. But that article is 100% worth a read. And it really does. It kind of puts into perspective what's kind of been like, it was in my brain, but I couldn't figure out. You have 4. Okay. So together we have 9 athletic guest passes. So if you do not have a subscription to the Athletic, hit us up, slide into the DMs on the podcast Twitter with your email address, and we will get you hooked up for a 30-day guest pass. But we absolutely loved having Brandon Hagel on our team. He was fun. And I love that, like, they asked him about bagels and he was like, I love bagels. Well, buddy, we loved you too.
Yeah,
there has not been a 38 that has happened really since you're leaving last season, the trade deadline. And I mean, the only one before you was Ryan Hartman, but he wasn't our bagel. And we miss your everything bagels. We miss you wearing the red and black. But this episode is dedicated to you, Brandon Hagel, number 38 of the Chicago Blackhawks. We miss you, buddy, but we wish you well. And since we don't bring the band back together, please don't take any disrespect when I say, I hope that we never see you again. Look, we have learned bringing the band back together does not work.
No.
Like, it does not work. I'm glad that the person who was so gung-ho on doing it is gone. The only exception I would make to that is if Kaner gets traded at the deadline, but he wants to stay and come back. Like, that's different.
Yeah, because it's Kaner.
Well, not only is it Kaner, but he's been very vocal about wanting to be a part of this rebuild.
Yeah.
So if he makes that decision, like, it's different than trading and bringing somebody back. Like, we don't do that anymore at all. So if you're a free agent and you want to come back, Brandon Hagel, we support you.
Oh, yeah. You have to.
But we don't support trading to get former players back anymore. Nope. No, thank you.
Brandon saw it twice.
Ugh, pain. Also pain that
Artemi Panarin.
I miss Breadman. But anyway, this has been fun. I kind of like how we split these up now because we get more time to talk hockey. We can get way more time to talk WoHo. Yeah. And I'm kind of digging it.
It seems like a lot of people liked our last episode because it's already gotten a good number of views already. Yeah. And it's been like since I haven't even checked
the YouTube side of things. So we will talk about that behind the curtain off of the air. So my friend Zach, where can the humans find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at OneTrueZach. That's O-N-E True Zach. It's not like the number 1. It's like the O-Neaters in that sense. I have an Instagram. It's Zach R. Martin 22 if you just want to catch some random stuff that I just like to share and all that good stuff. I've been meaning to put this out there for a while now. If you want to read my articles, because I work at Field Pass Hockey as the Charlotte Checkers writer. I know it's not the Blackhawks affiliate, but it's, still talking hockey. You can follow me over there at FPH Checkers if you want to catch up on any of my articles over there. Actually, I just wrote my 20th article last night since
nice.
Yeah, my 17th one since December. So yeah, I've been on a massive hot streak in terms of getting stuff done. So yeah,
love it.
Yep. Beth, where can people find you on the socials?
So this is always where we confuse the people because my Twitter handle is at WonderBeffers. It's like the word wonderful, not the number one.
Oh, like I wonder what happened to the Yonators?
Absolutely. And I mean, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. It's at GoodBetterBeffers. I mostly post a lot about my cats and dogs and gym stuff.
And hockey.
And hockey. But mostly my dog and my cat.
No, you don't. What are you talking about? No, not you. Not you.
I love them. And of course, make sure that you are following all of our social accounts. You can catch us on Twitter and Instagram at TalkWoHockeyPod and on YouTube at Let's Talk Wo Hockey. We're hoping that you will like this video and maybe comment on it. If you would love to sauce us over a subscription, just make sure you hit the little bell and turn on all notifications. And wherever you're listening to this podcast, please stop by, give us a 5-star review, leave us some comments. We might actually read the comments on air if we get them. So leave us some words of happiness. Maybe we'll figure out like a giveaway we can do, like for a push for some reviews. Like we don't have very many.
Well, if we get like if we get like the 25, we should do a giveaway.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a really cool thing coming out that we're not going to talk about yet until we get them. So I'm excited for it. I'm so excited for it. So for me, Beth, for my dude Zach, this has been the Brandon Hagel Everything Bagel episode of Let's Talk Wo Hockey. We will catch you guys on Sunday when we do our WoHo show.
The WoHo show.
The WoHo show. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this 5 in a Game Sports Network podcast. Now avoid the selfie and go enjoy your game misconduct.